Now at 9, a Carl Junction family's garage destroyed by an early morning fire. Plus, rain and wet roads may be to blame for an SUV crash on I-44 this morning in Oklahoma. And
ground is said to be broken in this field behind me for a new state-of-the-art criminal center for the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. I'm Anthony Saviello. More on that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Emergency crews respond to a 2-alarm fire this morning in Carl Junction. This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Samantha Walker. Crews responded to the house fire on Nicholas Lane in North Carl Junction just before 5:15. On scene, responders saw heavy smoke coming from the roof and attic area. The initial investigation suggests the fire originated just outside the garage in a trash can on the side of the house. Crews have not determined what was in the trash can at that time. Everyone made it out of the house safely and without injury. A 16-year-old boy has died following a UTV crash earlier today in McDonald County, Missouri. Reports of the crash came in just before 11:30 a.m. Troopers say the driver of the UTV, which was being driven on private property, attempted to make a turn and overturned. The driver from Bentonville, Arkansas, was pronounced dead at the scene. Rain may have played a part in an SUV overturning on Interstate 44 this morning. Reports of the crash came in just before 9:30 this morning near the Tri-State line in Oklahoma. Sources say there were no injuries and traffic continued as the crash was off the roadway. Rain was steady and had drenched the interstate. Experts say to reduce the risk of hydroplaning, drivers should slow down in wet conditions, ensure tires have adequate tread, and avoid sudden maneuvers. This Labor Day, community members in Joplin used the holiday to protest. Protesters stood at 7th and Rangeline to advocate for workers and everyday citizens over billionaires. They advocate for protection and expansion of Medicaid and Social Security. Organizers say working people built the nation and that, quote, the billionaires' time is up.
We're here to simply let the folks out there know in the event that they're questioning what's happening, going on in this country, in and around Joplin and in this country. If they feel like things are just not right, they're not alone.
Protests like the one held in Joplin took place all across the United States today. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, I hope you had a fantastic Labor Day. We had a dreary start. A lot of showers across the region all morning long, but the afternoon turned out to be pretty good. We have partly sunny skies. Now, late this evening into the overnight hours tomorrow, we are going to have some random showers out there. Not a big deal. Temperatures staying warm Tuesday and Wednesday. Some thunderstorm chances back in as we get into Wednesday night. We have this upper level wave kind of rotating on us. So we are going to get a few random scattered showers back in here late tonight. And then again, as we go kind of hit and miss on Tuesday. Here's your morning hours. Sitting into low to mid 60s, a random scattered thunderstorm. And again, even as we get into the afternoon, not near as widespread as what we saw today and also yesterday, but they're still going to be out there. High temps upper 70s to near 80 degrees. We'll talk about those thunderstorms as well here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. Universities across the country have been the targets of swatting calls recently, putting students, staff, and police on high alert. Chris Bryant spoke with Missouri State University leaders about the tool they use to keep the Springfield campus informed about emergencies.
Swatting calls have one thing that they're trying to create, and that's hysteria.
Since August 21st, college campuses across the nation have been the targets of these swatting calls. And just Tuesday morning, West Virginia University was added to that list.
So whenever you pinpoint a college campus as the source of a swatting call, now you got multiple agencies responding.
For Missouri State University,
we think about these sorts of things all the time, so it's always on our mind here at University Safety, but it isn't on everyone's mind everywhere else that is operating outside the public safety environment.
As classes are just underway, the campus community is currently taking the campus safety classes.
Staff and faculty and students are taking 3 classes that we assign as mandatory training, and part of that includes the active shooter response.
And this academic year, the university is introducing a new app to help alert the campus.
Rolled out the Bear Shield app, which was part of upgrading our entire emergency notification system. We can more easily isolate the incident when it's occurring, but also notify students and staff and faculty on what to do and where to stay away from.
The app can also be used by those that are visiting the campus, either for education, sports, or the performing arts.
You don't even have to make a call. You can initiate a chat or submit a tip with pictures, and that information goes immediately to our dispatchers. They see it right away. They get an alert.
And there's a safety feature that won't allow you to make a fake call if you're off campus.
So if you hit the panic button and you're off campus, it immediately diverts you to 911.
While recent events have been found to be hoaxes, that doesn't mean people shouldn't make a report if they see something.
But every individual needs to treat any notification that there's an active shooter as a credible threat, and to initiate those policies or actions that they have trained or practiced and start implementing those immediately until proven otherwise.
Another recent swatting incident happened at Kansas State University just last month. On K-State's first day of classes, a hoax call reported active violence at the Hale Library, leading to a campus lockdown until officers determined the report was a hoax. A new state-of-the-art facility will soon be erected in Pittsburg. The project is a collaboration between the Kansas Bureau of Investigation and PSU. KOAM's Anthony Saviello explains.
The Kansas Bureau of Investigation is about to get a new facility with a whole bunch of new bells and whistles, and it's also going to benefit Pittsburg State students as well. According to Kansas Bureau of Investigation Director Tony Matavy, the Bureau has faced numerous challenges in its current location and is needed to transition to a more reliable facility, and that's where Pitt State comes in. This area of land is where the new $40 million, 53,000 square foot facility is expected to be built. The project was covered by a mix of state and federal funds. Over the past year, the project has been in the planning and funding phases, and during that time, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation has used the Tyler Research Center to conduct its business. And while the Bureau of Investigation will still have to use the Tyler Research Center for a little while longer while the new facility is being built, come Friday, September 5th, it's just a little while longer before they have their very own state-of-the-art facility. In Pittsburg, Kansas, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The facility will also house the PSU Police Department and collaborative workspaces for local, state, and federal law enforcement. Well, coming up, the president takes a shot at COVID vaccines.
President Trump launches a new effort to find out exactly how effective COVID vaccines have been. I'm David Spunt in Washington. The details coming up.
But up first, law enforcement in Missouri has some advice for keeping children safe on the water during the holiday. While many families are spending the weekend on lakes around the area, law enforcement has strong messages for parents to head off tragedy. The message comes after several children have drowned at the Lake of the Ozarks this year. As Emma McDardis reports, emergency workers have some advice they say every parent needs to know.
Here at Lake of the Ozarks, firefighters and first responders have seen 6 child drownings this summer. These agencies have banded together to remind parents to call 911 immediately if their child is missing.
Every fire, EMS, and law enforcement agency in the lake area signed off on this to get the message out to call 911. And the tagline with it is, it's not embarrassment, it's being proactive.
The Sunrise Beach Fire Protection District released this strong message this morning in response to the deadly incidents they responded to this summer.
We saw some delays, not just with those incidents, but with some other ones where people weren't calling 911 immediately and doing searches themselves.
The fire chief says that they can get resources to parents more quickly as they search for the missing child. Families that are very familiar with the area say they try to understand where they are on the lake in case they do have to call.
I'll try to maybe look for the closest business, such as a gas stock like this. Yes, definitely call 911 and try to figure out where you're at by land.
Firefighters also encourage everyone on a boat or in the lake to wear a life jacket and to keep small children or weak swimmers within an arm's distance. The Sunshine Beach Fire Chief says this PSA isn't trying to embarrass anyone who may call and not have an emergency, but promote proactive actions that could save a life.
And our point to this whole thing is, get us out there. We can always turn everybody around. But to have the help there as quickly as possible helps create a better positive outcome.
LaPlante also says this information is the same for elderly family members who wander away. Preschool-age children are being prescribed ADHD drugs too quickly. A Stanford medicine study found that many 4- and 5-year-olds were being given medication very quickly after being diagnosed with ADHD, with more than 40% getting a prescription within just 1 month of their diagnosis. Researchers recommend children this young first receive 6 months of behavior therapy before starting medication. ADHD medications can cause more side effects in young children. President Trump is once again questioning whether COVID vaccines are effective, just days after firing the head of the CDC director. Fox News correspondent David Spunt has more from Washington.
President Trump is wading back into a COVID controversy. On Monday, he once again cast doubt on the effectiveness of vaccines and other COVID-related treatments. Writing in part on social media, quote, "Many people think they are a miracle that saved millions of lives. Others disagree. With CDC being ripped apart over this question, I want the answer and I want it now." The post comes just days after the head of the CDC was fired and dozens of top officials resigned, allegedly over political interference in the vaccine process.
It's an assault on CDC, and it is making Americans less safe.
Some experts say it's extremely rare for the White House to get involved with these types of public health decisions.
Various guardrails in the sort of within the bureaucracy have been knocked down.
The White House is pushing back, claiming there were big problems at the CDC that required new leadership.
The reason for the revocation of that emergency youth authorization is because obviously the COVID pandemic and the public health emergency is over.
But researchers say it's too soon to start making judgments about the vaccines because the mRNA technology used to create them is evolving so quickly.
This brand new technology is really critical to figuring out what the scope of potential and benefit that it can really have.
President Trump says drug makers showed him, quote, great numbers and results, and he's calling on them to release that data to the public. In Washington, David Spunt, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, fairgoers in the nation's heartland notice steeper prices this year at state fairs. We'll take a closer look.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a great Labor Day for us today. Yes, it was wet to start, but we got the sunshine during the afternoon, so hope you got outside and enjoyed it, as we are going to get some more scattered showers and a few thunderstorms in here once again. There are still a few guys out to our west, and a few of these guys the rest of tonight could kind of push in. So don't be surprised if you get some hit or miss little scattered showers or thunderstorms. Let's look at the batch that we had earlier today. Now, it was decently widespread. About half of us got rain. Northern counties, not really any. You can see up toward Girard, 0.2 of an inch, but we did have some pockets, 1 to 2 inches through northeastern Oklahoma, down toward Grand Lake. Joplin Metro, mainly about 1/2 inch, and then a sharp cutoff again, but at least we got some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. All right, let's go through the rest of the night into the morning hours. Again, some random spotty little guys across the region. Temperatures will start into lower 60s. Let me take you through your Tuesday. Again, random hit or miss shower through the morning. I think most of us mid-70s by noon, and a couple pop-up guys during the afternoon. Most of us are going to top out 78, 79 degrees, maybe an 80 if we can get enough sunshine. Tomorrow night, nice and calm, very comfy. We drop back upper 50s, and then Wednesday looks pretty good. We get a southerly wind, we heat up, we go to 83, 84, 85 degrees. But as we get into Wednesday night, we have a cold front dropping in. With this front, we're going to get some scattered thunderstorms along that front driving through. A few of those guys could be a little beefier, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Here's after midnight. Let's go into Thursday morning. Anything that is out there will be gone. So any showers next 24 hours, very spotty. A little bit more widespread as these drop in Wednesday night into Thursday. So at least we still have some chances for rain out there. 64 to start, 74 by noon. Let's go with a high temp, 79 or 80 degrees. Of course, we've been a little bit cooler due to our flow out of Canada, and you can see our wave right here that is tracking through. So let's watch it. It rotates out of here, but notice this strong system right across the Great Lakes. This pulls in cooler air. It doesn't really cool us down much. It just keeps us below average. We're about 7 or 8 degrees below average. So we sit with this nice air mass on top of us all the way through the weekend. Now, as we get into early next week, here comes a wave that will have the potential to give us more widespread rain across the region. So this is going to be next Monday into Tuesday, and then we warm up a bit. The middle of September is definitely going to be a little bit hotter than what we've been experiencing the past couple weeks. 80 on your Tuesday, 84 on Wednesday, 79 Thursday. Look at this, Friday, Saturday, right around 80 degrees. Thunderstorm chances next Monday and Tuesday. Sam?
Thanks, Doug. September is here, and you know what that means. It's almost fall. Whether you're into haunted houses or just a good old-fashioned hayride or pumpkin patch, the four-state area has something to offer everyone as temperatures begin to drop. Head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, for a full list of fall events. And if you're wanting to make sure you have great weather for those fall events, go ahead and scan that QR code on your phone, and you'll head straight to the updated weather resources page on our website, where you can find information on storm shelters, weather updates, closing, and roads conditions. It's called the weather resource page on KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, coming up next,
millions of Americans are taking one last summer vacation for Labor Day. I'm Caroline Elliott in Lake Lanier in Beaufort, Georgia, and I have more details on what's behind that travel surge coming up.
Labor Day marks the unofficial end to summer, and airports across the country saw travelers take advantage of the long holiday weekend. Fox News multimedia reporter Carolyn Elliott has more.
Whether by plane, train, or car, millions of Americans are making the most out of the last days of summer travel.
I flew in from Boston, Massachusetts. I was flying to Orlando from Atlanta.
The TSA expects to screen more than 17 million people at its checkpoints through Wednesday. The agency says there's more demand this year due to a post-pandemic rebound and lower costs. Flight prices are down about 6% this Labor Day. Hotels down 11%.
Prices have remained very reasonable, especially for hotels. For instance, I can fly from New York to San Francisco sometimes for as low as $300.
But with the crowds come delays. At one point Monday afternoon, more than 1,700 flights were delayed, according to FlightAware. And over the weekend, thunderstorms caused major disruptions at airports across the South.
American Airlines canceled the flight. So they gave us the hotel stay and meal voucher and everything. You know, you cannot control the weather.
Experts say there could be more delays in the coming days as late travelers return back home.
If your flight gets bumped several times, it's often a sign that the flight may eventually just get cancelled altogether. So be sure to sign up for alerts from your airline so that you can track your flight and make sure you have a backup plan.
Still, the majority of Americans drove this Labor Day with gas prices down about 14 cents from a year ago. In Beaufort, Georgia, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Nestle has dismissed CEO Laurent Freixe over what it calls a romantic relationship with a direct subordinate. The internationally known food and beverage brand made the announcement Monday. The company said the move came after the board ordered an investigation into the matter. Nestle's board chair said Freixe's actions breached the company's code of conduct and that the move was necessary. The chair said the company has tapped Philip Navratil as the new CEO. He has been with Nestle since 2001. State fairs in New York, Alaska, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Minnesota are wrapping up today. Lana Zach reports many fairgoers noticed steeper prices this year, while some organizers tried to keep budget in mind, finding new ways to attract crowds.
This
whole experience is nostalgic for so many reasons.
State fairs are a summer staple for families all over the country, and this year, tradition is running up against sticker shock.
Some things are just way too expensive. We spent a lot of money here today.
Valerie Nelson and her family are regulars at the Great Minnesota Get-Together and noticed prices ticking up.
We just bought our kids standard hot dog and it was $7.50. So yeah, it feels a little steep.
Looking at last year's profits, the top-earning food vendor at the Minnesota State Fair hauled in almost $5 million. Some families set aside a slush fund.
We budget for it every year because we know we want to do it. Partially with this cookie jar. We just fill the cookie jar with spare change throughout the year.
We do hear from them all the time about the price of things.
In Iowa, State Fair organizers say they made the pocketbook a priority this year. They kept ticket prices the same as the last 5 years, included free events, and for the first time, dropped all rules against outside food.
We also look at how much food are people buying, how many rides are they riding, so those are telltale signs too of how well we're doing.
1.16 million people attended the Iowa State Fair this year, which organizers say cost more to put on because of inflation and agricultural sponsors tightening their belts.
He's in the record books.
Still, whether it's a giant gourd or grandstand attendance, records were set.
Nothing can compare to the Iowa State Fair.
Cheers! And another year is on the books.
Iowa State Fair organizers say their research shows the average fairgoer's income is $58,000 a year, a number they say they keep in mind in an effort to make a family-friendly changes. Minnesotans can take advantage of a $5 coupon book with discounts on food, merchandise, and entertainment. Well, coming up next, disc golfers celebrate the holiday with some friendly competition. Today's dreary weather didn't stop some friendly competition in Joplin. Some disc golf athletes celebrated Labor Day with some casual doubles rounds at McClellan Championship Disc Golf Complex. More than 30 people came out to play, including different groups and teams. One group, called the Trees Nuts, even came from Springfield to get some plays in.
Disc golf is mostly free, and a lot of folks from different economic backgrounds enjoy disc golf who maybe ball golf isn't approachable for.
At the end of this month, the Joplin Disc Golf Club will host the 20th annual Four States Open Disc Golf Tournament at McClellan Park. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, a judge blocks the deportation of hundreds of migrant children to Guatemala. And families of Israeli hostages speak out against their government's handling of negotiations.
You're watching the Four States Most Watched News.
Hundreds of unaccompanied migrant children from Guatemala will stay in the U.S. for at least another 2 weeks after a judge blocked their deportation. It comes after immigration groups filed a lawsuit in the middle of the night. Fox News correspondent Alexandria Hoff has more.
As planes full of unaccompanied children sat on the tarmac, a federal judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from deporting them back to their home country of Guatemala.
He came here from a shelter. We hoped the lawyer could fight his case here, but unfortunately it wasn't possible. You see how fate works.
The order was handed down just after 4 a.m. Sunday after immigration advocacy groups filed an emergency lawsuit. Attorneys accused the Trump administration of deporting children without giving them due process and, quote, exposing children to multiple harms and returning them to a country where they fear persecution and by flouting their legal obligations to care for them in the United States. But the White House insists it was just trying to reunite them with their families who were seeking their return.
Notwithstanding the work that the State Department have done and working with the Guatemalan government for over a month, this judge said, nope, you cannot do it. In the middle of the night.
The roughly 600 Guatemalan children came to the U.S. illegally and were unaccompanied, largely via human smugglers. They are currently in the care of the Department of Health and Human Services.
This is judicial activism. These organizations that run to the courts to try to stop us from doing the job that's on the books, the laws that Congress have put on the books.
Immigration is expected to be on the agenda when Secretary of State Marco Rubio heads to Central America tomorrow for a 3-day trip. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
The Trump administration has increased efforts to get personal information about tens of millions of voters nationwide. This comes as President Trump asserts a larger federal role in elections ahead of next year's midterms. In recent weeks, the Department of Justice sent state election officials letters seeking unredacted copies of staters' voter registration databases. The information includes voters' names, addresses, and driver license numbers. The DOJ said its goal is to ensure compliance with a federal law requiring states to maintain accurate voter rolls. President Trump's so-called reciprocal tariffs remain in place for now, after a federal court ruled on Friday that many of them are illegal. In its decision, the court said the president exceeded his powers under federal economic emergency laws, though the ruling will not take effect until mid-October to allow time for an appeal to the Supreme Court. The Trump administration has vowed to appeal. The president railed against the ruling on social media over the weekend, writing that without tariffs, quote, our country would be completely destroyed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has met with his security cabinet Sunday night. It comes as Israel is pushing for plans to fully seize Gaza City, but some military officials are warning against it. Fox News correspondent Jeff Paul has more from Tel Aviv, Israel.
Thousands of Israeli mourners gathered Monday for the funeral of hostage Idan Shtivi. He's one of two men whose remains were recovered from Gaza in recent military operations.
I'm sorry that the one time you told me in the middle of the day, let's play paddleball, I told you no, I'm busy.
Israeli officials believe 20 of the remaining 48 hostages in Gaza are still alive. Meanwhile, loud explosions were seen across the Gaza Strip as Israel is pressing on with a major offensive into the territory's largest city. Palestinian authorities there say Israeli airstrikes killed at least 19 people on Monday.
If they want to hit us, let them. We die every day.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with his security cabinet Sunday night as they discussed different ways to fully seize Gaza City. But Israel's military has warned political leaders that a new offensive could put the hostages in danger. This comes as Israeli protests have escalated. Demonstrators say they're fed up with the government's handling of a hostage release.
What we need at the moment is for the Prime Minister to take his responsibility as the one that is responsible for October 7th. And if he doesn't bring him back, then more blood will be on his hands.
Meanwhile, on Monday, the largest professional group of scholars that studies genocide is accusing Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. In Tel Aviv, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, we have a preview and look at the rest of the week on Fox TV.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a great Labor Day for us today. Yes, it was wet to start, but we got the sunshine during the afternoon, so hope you got outside and enjoyed it, as we are going to get some more scattered showers and a few thunderstorms in here once again. There are still a few guys out to our west, and a few of these guys the rest of tonight could kind of push in. So don't be surprised if you get some hit or miss little scattered showers or thunderstorms. Let's look at the batch that we had earlier today. Now, it was decently widespread. About half of us got rain. Northern counties, not really any. You can see up toward Girard, 0.2 of an inch, but we did have some pockets, 1 to 2 inches through northeastern Oklahoma, down toward Grand Lake. Joplin Metro, mainly about 1/2 inch, and then a sharp cutoff again, but at least we got some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. All right, let's go through the rest of the night into the morning hours. Again, some random spotty little guys across the region. Temperatures will start into lower 60s. Let me take you through your Tuesday. Again, random hit or miss shower through the morning. I think most of us mid-70s by noon, and a couple pop-up guys during the afternoon. Most of us are going to top out 78, 79 degrees, maybe an 80 if we can get enough sunshine. Tomorrow night, nice and calm, very comfy. We drop back upper 50s, and then Wednesday looks pretty good. We get a southerly wind, we heat up, we go to 83, 84, 85 degrees. But as we get into Wednesday night, we have a cold front dropping in. With this front, we're going to get some scattered thunderstorms along that front driving through. A few of those guys could be a little beefier, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Here's after midnight. Let's go into Thursday morning Anything that is out there will be gone. So any showers next 24 hours, very spotty. A little bit more widespread as these drop in Wednesday night into Thursday. So at least we still have some chances for rain out there. 64 to start, 74 by noon. Let's go with a high temp, 79 or 80 degrees. Of course, we've been a little bit cooler due to our flow out of Canada, and you can see our wave right here that is tracking through. So let's watch it. It rotates out of here, but notice this strong system right across the Great Lakes. This pulls in cooler air. It doesn't really cool us down much. It just keeps us below average. We're about 7 or 8 degrees below average. So we sit with this nice air mass on top of us all the way through the weekend. Now, as we get into early next week, here comes a wave that will have the potential to give us more widespread rain across the region. So this is going to be next Monday into Tuesday, and then we warm up a bit. The middle of September is definitely going to be a little bit hotter than what we've been experiencing the past couple weeks. 80 on your Tuesday, 84 on Wednesday, 79 Thursday. Look at this, Friday, Saturday, right around 80 degrees. Thunderstorm chances next Monday and Tuesday. Sam?
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, the St. Louis Cardinals look for a win on Labor Day. Plus, get a sneak peek of the 2025 Frontenac football team ahead of their Friday season opener. Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next.
Frontenac Raider football prepares for the 2025 season following a disappointing playoff exit last year. The Raiders dominated in 2024, going 9-1, but a loss to Perry Lecompton in the regional playoffs ended their season. All summer long, Frontenac's returning players have worked hard to be a better and more cohesive team. And it all starts with the leadership of junior quarterback Brogan Smith.
It prepared me a lot last year, just really getting into the groove of things, starting my first year, getting to know the guys, getting to know the Coach Miller's offense, and the loss to Perry Lecompton, I think it lit a fire under all of us, so we're ready to get back this year and get after it. This summer we got back in the weight room, showed up to football every day, relearning the offense, helping getting younger guys more comfortable, and just getting ready to start the season against Galena.
Smith returns as field general for another season, but we'll see a lot of new faces for the Raiders in 2025. Frontenac will lean heavily on juniors and seniors becoming true starters for the first time, especially on the offensive line, which needs 3 new guys to step into starting roles.
You know, we only returned 2 guys that had a lot of varsity experience on the offensive line, so it takes time to get those guys to mold, but they've done a nice job. You know, we're work in progress, but we're getting better every day. Do your job, all of us do our job, you know, things will be good for us. The more sure we are of ourselves, the more confident we are in ourselves and our teammates, the faster we can play, and that's what we're going to do.
The Raiders open up their season this Friday against Galena. Last year, Frontenac took down the Bulldogs 27-0 in the season opener. In Major League Baseball, the Cardinals look to take down the Athletics in the series opener. The Cardinals versus Athletics matchup on Labor Day. First inning, A's have 2 runners on, no outs. Brent Rooker pops one into center. Nathan Church is racing in. He dives and makes the incredible catch for the first out of the game. So we head to the 4th, still scoreless. Man on second, 2 outs for J.J. Bidet, and that one's not coming back, and the Athletics take the 2-0 lead. Next batter, Zach Geloff blasts one to opposite field, and it carries into the bullpen for back-to-back Athletics homers. Bottom of the inning, Ivan Herrera hammers one long gone and into Big Mac land to cut the Athletics lead to 2 runs. But things would get ugly from there. The A's just keep tacking on runs and go on to take down St. Louis 11-3. Well, that's it for sports. We're back with more after this.
MasterChef dynamic duos compete for a spot in the grand finale. We have a preview and a look at the rest of the week on Fox TV. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
You may come for the Taekwondo, but like us, you leave a Taekwondo bro.
It's a wizarding world on Fox's Lego Masters Jr. Here's what's hot on Fox.
Welcome to the Hufflepuff.
Monday, teams take on a Harry Potter challenge on Lego Masters Jr., building uncommon common rooms for Hogwarts houses.
Which of these are types of rice?
Then it's a test of food, mathematics, and star knowledge on the Quiz with Balls hosted by Jay Farrow.
All right, let's see it.
Tuesday on the 1% Club, a professional poker player is among those showing off their brain teaser skills for $100,000.
It's a cold world. It's a nasty world.
That's followed by the Fox special. TMZ presents the war over OnlyFans.
Who's got the chef wipes on?
Wednesday, it's the semifinals on MasterChef Dynamic Duos. The top 4 duos are challenged with making one of Gordon Ramsay's Michelin star dishes at the same speed he does while taking turns cooking.
Step up as an owner and pay some respect to your team.
Then it's an encore of Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service, with Ramsay in Boston to help an overworked and short-staffed restaurant.
Oh boy.
Thursday brings replays of MasterChef Dynamic Duos and the 1% Club. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Up next, the Powerball jackpot has grown to more than $1 billion. Those details. The Powerball jackpot has grown to a staggering $1.1 billion. That's after no one correctly matched all 6 numbers on Saturday night. The next drawing will be tonight, Labor Day. It'll be the 5th largest prize in the history of the game. Powerball tickets are $2 each and are sold in 45 states: Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Your chances to win a Powerball drawing lottery? Officials say that's roughly 1 in 292 million. Well, fingers crossed somebody out there will win that. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.